Thank you for the invitation, and many thanks to Hirschberg Foundation for supporting our work on pancreatic cancer. As you know, activating mutations of KRAS drive the formation of pre-malignant lesions known as PANINs. And in the context of additional genetic lesions, such as loss of tumor suppressors, those lesions will evolve to develop pancreatic ductal adenocarcinoma. And although those pathways have been studied extensively, both in vitro and in vivo, as of today, this knowledge failed to translate into novel therapeutics. And still, pancreatic cancer has very poor prognosis. And part of the problem is that pharmacological targeting of KRAS has proven challenging. Now, in recent years, there is an increasing interest on the role of epigenetics in human cancers. Epigenetic alterations are heritable, drive neoplastic transformation, and undergo the same selective pressure as genetic lesions. And chromatin-modifying enzymes is believed to represent excellent candidates for the discovery of small molecule inhibitors. Epigenetics is the study of post-translational modifications, particularly histone modifications such as methylation, acetylation, ubiquitination, and phosphorylation, as well as DNA methylation. And as you can see, those modifications take place at the N-termini of histones, and they have a meaning. And for the rest of my talk, please remember that methylation of lysine 4 and lysine 36 activate transcription, whereas methylation of lysine 27 represses transcription. Studies originally conducted in flies and later confirmed in mammalian systems revealed that there are two multi-protein complexes that epigenetically regulate gene expression. The first one is called Polycomb repressor complex that methylates lysine 27 and represses transcription, and its function is counteracted by the trithorax MLL complex that methylates lysine 4 and activates transcription. The field of epigenetics is very complicated, but in a simple way, you can think that there are three major classes of enzymes that regulate the epigenome. So you have enzymes that introduce those modifications, known as writers. You have enzymes that remove those modifications, and you have enzymes that have particular domains that can bind and interpret the genome. Today, my talk will focus on histone demethylases. This is a family of enzymes that has been discovered within the last 6 years. And before that, it was thought that histone methylation is an irreversible epigenetic modification. The human genome encodes approximately 30 histone demethylases, and all of them, as you can see, they have the Jumanji domain that confers the demethylation activity. And basically what histone demethylases do is they counteract the function of histone methyltransferases. And as it is the case for histone methyltransferases, a number of histone demethylases have been identified to function as tumor suppressors or oncogenes. I became interested in studying histone demethylases because we conducted a genome-wide screen by using insertional mutagenesis to clone novel oncogenes. And one of the genes that we have cloned was KDM2B, a lysine 36 demethylase. In the original experiments, when we overexpressed KDM2B in mouse embryonic fibroblasts, we found that KDM2B was able to immortalize them. And this phenotype was dependent on the Jumanji domain, because if you delete the Jumanji domain, or if you introduce point mutations, or if you overexpress a natural occurring short form that lacks the Jumanji domain, in all of the cases, we fail to immortalize mouse embryonic fibroblasts. Okay, so along the same lines, knockdown of endogenous KDM2B induced premature senescence shown here. And to summarize all these findings, we have shown that KDM2B is an integral component of Polycomb repressor complex and directly binds the INK4A ARF tumor suppressor locus. And upon binding, demethylates lysine 36, so it removes a positive methylation mark, and at the same time, EZH2 introduces K27 trimethylation, a negative methylation mark. So the net result is inhibition, epigenetic silencing of this important tumor suppressor locus. Now, to study the role of histone demethylase in pancreatic cancer, we obtained the expression profile of all members in multiple pancreatic cancer cell lines. And as you can see, KDM2B was found to upregulate in the majority of PDAC cell lines, both at the mRNA level as well as at the protein level, when compared to immortal but not transformed human pancreatic ductal epithelial cells. Moreover, we confirmed that KDM2B was overexpressed in human samples through RNA sequencing. And most importantly, based on previous studies that distinguish pancreatic cancer in an aggressive subset, shown here in blue, known as the quasi-mesenchymal, that has a poor prognosis and is poorly differentiated, compared to the classical one, shown here in red, we found that KDM2B was particularly enriched in the quasi-mesenchymal subset. And this also was confirmed in vitro. KDM2B was overexpressed in the quasi-mesenchymal subset, shown here in blue. In the next step, we want to confirm that KDM2B is upregulated in pancreatic cancer. And the first thing that we did is we validated an antibody that specifically recognized KDM2B with new mouse models that we developed that overexpress KDM2B in pancreas. And as you can see, we have a very specific antibody. And we stained a number of samples, and we found that KDM2B levels were correlated with the grade of the disease, and KDM2B was particularly upregulated in metastasis. And as you can see, KDM2B was not present in normal murine or human pancreas. In the next step, we want to address what is the biological role of KDM2B. To this end, we used two different short hairpins to knock down KDM2B at the shown here at the mRNA level and by Western blotting, and we found that knockdown of KDM2B inhibited the proliferation of pancreatic cancer cell lines. And as consistent with our previous data, the quasi-mesenchymal subset, the more aggressive one, was much more sensitive to knockdown of KDM2B compared to the classical one. And last but not least, knockdown of KDM2B inhibited the tumorigenicity of those cell lines in vivo. So therefore, the conclusion here is that KDM2B is required for the maintenance of human PDAC cell lines. In the next experiment, we want to address the opposite question, whether overexpression of KDM2B in the context of KRAS suffices to initiate pancreatic cancer. To this end, we isolated cells from the pancreas that already carry activating mutations of KRAS, and we infected them ex vivo with KDM2B and orthotopically implanted back into SCID mice. And we found that by injecting just 20,000 of cells that have KRAS and KDM2B, we're able to induce aggressive pancreatic cancer. Now, KRAS cells alone did not cause any lesion, or we obtained PANINs, pre-malignant lesions, when we injected 1 million cells. So therefore, the conclusion here is that KDM2B is required for the initiation of pancreatic cancer, and this effect, not shown here, but can be seen in my recent paper, depends on the catalytic activity of the enzyme. So the next question is, what are the pathways that are being regulated by KDM2B? To this end, we obtained the RNA-seq profile from 6 human pancreatic cancer cell lines, and as you can see here, gene set enrichment analysis revealed that knockdown of KDM2B upregulated gene signatures that previously has been shown to be repressed by the Polycomb group complex, and this is consistent with what I presented you earlier. In this analysis also we found another gene cohort that involved genes that regulate ribosomal biogenesis, metabolic homeostasis, and those signatures were downstream of MYC transcription factor. However, in our datasets, we didn't see any changes in the levels of MYC at the mRNA or at the protein. But we observed that another histone demethylase, KDM5A, was downregulated upon KDM2B knockdown. And this was interesting to us for 2 reasons. First of all, KDM5A is amplified in 10% of human samples. And second, there were previous papers showing that KDM5A homolog lead in flies cooperates with MYC and KDM2B to drive growth decisions. To this end, we obtained the genome-wide binding sites of KDM2B, EZH2, and KDM5A, and as you can see, we found that KDM2B binds the genome through 2 distinct modules, one in the context of EZH2 and in the other in the context of KDM5A. Moreover, ingenuity pathway analysis revealed that KDM2B in the context of 5A or MYC regulates ribosomal translational machinery as well as metabolism, whereas in the context of EZH2 regulates pluripotency and self-renewal pathways, which is reminiscent of the data that I present you for the RNA-seq experiment. Moreover, genome-wide pairwise comparison of KDM2B, KDM5A, EZH2, lysine 4, and MYC revealed that KDM2B in the context of EZH2 binds inactive promoters, shown here with the absence of K4, whereas in the context of KDM5A binds active promoters. And this finding was further confirmed upon integration of the RNA-seq data, showing that KDM2B in the context of EZH2 functions as transcriptional repressor, whereas in the context of KDM5A functions as transcriptional activator. So, and I would like to summarize all of this data. I have shown to you that KDM2B drives the growth of an aggressive subset of pancreatic cancer, and it does so by orchestrating two distinct transcriptional programs. One in the context of polycomb group proteins, and this pathway depends on the catalytic activity, and the way that KDM2B does so is by enhancing stemness of the cells through repression of lineage specification genes. And also KDM2B regulates ribosomal biogenesis and overall metabolic homeostasis through a Jumanji-independent pathway that involves KDM5A and MYC. And given the reversibility of histone modifications, small molecule inhibitors for KDM2B or other histone demethylases may be novel therapeutics to treat pancreatic cancer as well as other human cancers. And I have to say here that, unlikely with KRAS, already we have a number of molecules that show activity towards KDM2B. And those molecules are metabolic analogs, because as you can see here in the demethylation reaction, KDM2B uses alpha ketoglutarate. And again, many thanks to Hirschberg Foundation for the support, and as well as my mentor Nabil Bartezi, as well as other members in the lab for helping for all of these experiments. Thank you.